Go on from there. Alright, what is up YouTube? It is HBJ here, and I'm giving you guys my last video for the Legendary Arc V structure decks, as I'm just going to talk about the newer editions of cards that are going to be introduced into this. If you have not already watched my other three videos, please do, because I have videos up for the Lunalight deck, the Speedroid Clear Wing deck, and the Odd Eyes Performer Pal deck. That is all being released in celebration of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V Legendary decks that are coming out August 6th, or no, August 7th of 2026 for the TCG. So, yay, congratulations, woo! Alright, so let's go ahead, let's take a look at all of these. We're going to start off with, and I'm going to pronounce a lot of these cards' names wrong, so I do apologize. So, oopsies, but not really, because look, I have other things on my mind right now. I'm just giving you the best that I possibly can. So, starting off, we have Speedroid Dora Maka Knocker. Level 4 wind attribute machine tuner with 200 attack and 16 defense. If this card is in your hand, you can add one Speedroid card from your deck to your... Send one Speedroid card from your deck to graveyard, except for a copy of itself, and then special summon this card. Also, you cannot summon for the rest of the turn except wind monsters. If this card is sent from your field to the graveyard, you can add one Speedroid spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, and if you control a Clear Wing monster, you can destroy one monster on the field. And then you use each effect of Speedroid Duramaka Knocker once per turn. The next card up is Lunalight Scarlet Tiger. She is a level 5 Dark Attribute Beast Warrior type monster with 1900 attack and 1500 defense. You can only activate an Lunalight monster's effect except during the damage step. You can special summon this card. If you activate a Lunalight monster's effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then, if you activate this effect during your opponent's turn, or during the turn your opponent activates a card or an effect. Sorry, because my reading right. You can add one polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card is sent from the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your face-up extra deck or graveyard and set a level 5 monster, but it cannot activate its effects. You only use each effect of, Lunalight Scarlet Tiger once per turn. Next up is the Synchro monster Odd Eyes Soul Blaze Dragon. Level 8 light attribute dragon type Synchro tuner monster. 2000 attack, 2500 defense. Requires one tuner plus one or more non-tuners. If this card is special summon, you can special summon one face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck. But you cannot special summon monster. Oh, you cannot special summon except pendulum monsters while you control that face-up monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish two other fusion, synchro, exceed, or pendulum monsters from your graveyard. And special summon this card, you can only use one Odd Eye Soul Blaze Dragon effect per turn and only once that turn. Next up is Odd Eyes Override Dragon, Link 3 Light Attribute Dragon Link Monster with 2500 attack, points bottom left, bottom right, requires two or more monsters, including a Pendulum monster. You can target one other card you control, destroy it, and if you do, draw one card. During your turn, when your opponent activates a card or an effect, quick effect, you can discard one card from your hand to negate that effect. You can only use each of these preceding effects of Odd Eyes Override Dragon once per turn. If you destroy a pendulum card that this card's first effect, during your main phase, this turn, you can conduct one pendulum summon of a performer pal monster, magician pendulum monsters, and or odd eyes monsters. In addition to your pendulum summon, you only gain this effect once per turn. So they just pulled out all the stats for each of these archetypes. Funny enough, only Odd Eyes got two monsters, while Lunalight and Speedroid only got one apiece. Highlights to this. Well, let's start off with the Speedroid monster. They got another tuner that basically says, hey, send cards to the grave that can easily be picked up by the others who pick up cards from the graveyard. Special summon them, focus on the wind stuff, and if you happen to have a Clear Wing monster, you're able to then destroy something in addition to searching for a Speedroid spell or trap. Pretty simple. Love the artwork, because if there's one thing about the Speedroids, I love when a lot of them get a little funky, crazy with how they look and how they are just so determined. Plus, that is so cute. A Daruma Knocker of all things. That is adorable. For you Lunalight fans, for you, why does this give me Zentreya vibes? She gives me a bit of Zentreya vibes. Like if Zentreya was like Cat Lady. I'm pretty sure there's a Cat Lady VTuber that looks kind of similar to Scarlet Tiger, but she alright. She's able to get polymerization. She's able to play herself when another Lunalight activates an effect. She can special on another Lunalight as long as it's down to level 5. So kind of pretty standard for what Lunalight already does on its own. So this probably just accelerates more of the extenders that are needed for the deck, if any are needed. Plus, I like her artwork. She's cute. That's if anything. And then here goes Odd Eyes getting 2 of them because, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh has to get 2 cards because he's the main protagonist. Duh. So, Soul Dragon being a synchro tuner, that's pretty rad. Being able to such summon itself once per turn, but it's a hard once per turn for both effects. It's kind of just like, all right, well, pick one and then stick to it. Most likely, I think it'd be very simple just to special summon it. But if you can find a way to really extend the whole special summon pendulum, but force to be summon pendulum, I don't know. That's kind of really just like an Achilles heel if you think about it. But I'm sure someone's working on the deck to play around with that. The Odd Eyes Override Dragon. This guy is just happy to throw stones and never hide his hands, because he is definitely doing that. A negate on top of the fact that you get an additional pendulum summon for Magician Pendulum, perform a pound and Odd Eyes monsters in addition to your pendulum summon. That is bananas. And these are hard once per turn effects too. These are once per turn effects. So this is crazy how this monster is really just setting up for things. It is nice to see that Pendulum is getting an extension, let alone Odd Eyes getting a large setup of Pendulum. So I really think that there's going to be a lot of promise for this. There's always the factor that Odd Eyes definitely is trying to carry itself with its Performer Power and its Pendulum cards too, because when the Master Rule changed, a lot of people assumed that it was going to kill Pendulum. Funny enough, it didn't really kill Pendulum. It just said, hey Pendulum, here's some new tactics that you can try with your extra deck, and then here's all these Link monsters. Now, while I do believe, yes, the way Link monsters were presented, as far as the mechanic itself goes, definitely needs a lot of fixing, because that was one of the things that I'm glad when they revised the Master Rule, things got fixed. But also at the same time, it was like, you guys really just, it was like, we don't want the new mechanic to be the new mechanic. It's kind of like what they did with Synchro. It's the same thing they did with Exceeds. It's just a whole lot of the things that are just really much going around. So it's kind of just like, figure it out. But also, it's like, we don't want things to be as broken as the last mechanic. But then, Konami, you break it every other day. So it's just like, no, blame the players for the mechanics and stuff that you put out there. Just saying. But overall, I think these are all pretty solid cards to add into their respective archetypes and lineups. I'm sure many people are already planning strategies and setting up for these decks themselves. And don't worry, you'll have about 2 weeks to get everything that you need, because they will be dropping very soon. The Legendary Arc V decks will be dropping August 7th of 2026, and you can probably pick them up at your local card shop if they have them for OTSs, which will probably get them that Wednesday or Thursday. If you're waiting for like Walmart, Target and stuff, try to see if they're going to pick them up, because some areas have issues with scalpers, because that's always going to be a thing when it comes to product like this. But I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about these respective cards. Do you feel like Lunalight and Speedroid should have got an additional card? What would you like to see if they had got one? And overall, are you happy with a lot of the stuff that each of the respective archetypes are getting? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content. And I will be fixing up my social media links so you guys can have that all propped out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and with that said, HPJ signing out. Bye bye.